Alright, time for the final part of the inverses matrix assignment. All you had to do on the back side was plug that matrix into your calculator and then get the inverse. After you have it in your calculator, you push the after you have it in your calculator and you get the matrix name out on the main screen, you push this button and then enter, and it will give you your answer, but it'll typically be in decimal, and so you push math, the math button, and then enter twice, and that'll give you these answers here that you see on the screen. So here's the first four. Pause if you need to pause. I'm going to switch to the next one though. Here are the next three, and when you get to 18, it gives you an error saying it's a singular matrix. That just means that the determinant is 0, and if the determinant is 0, there is no inverse. So 18 has no inverse. And that brings us down to the bottom. You need to give an example of a 2 by 2 matrix with no inverse. Well, it's not an inverse if the determinant is 0. An easy way to get the determinant to be 0 is you just do like the same numbers on the rows. Because if you were to multiply those, you get 18. And you multiply the other ones, you get 18, and when you subtract them, it'll make 0. Or you can, really, that's just a trick that'll work always. And another way you can figure it out is you take one row and you just times it by any number of your choice, like -3. And if you try to get the determinant on this, that'll give you -6. This one also gives you -6, so when you subtract them, you get 0. So here's a couple of examples of 2 by 2s with no inverse, because the determinants are 0. And then on 20, you need to give an example of a matrix which is its own inverse. That is, when you multiply a matrix by itself, you get the identity. So actually, this one's a bad example. That doesn't work. Well, if you have the identity and you times by it, you'll get the identity. Here are some other examples. 6, 5, -6, -7, -6, or 3, 2, -4, -3, or 4, -1, 15, -4. If you notice, there's a little pattern here where this times together and that times together are one apart from each other. That's negative. Yeah, it just comes out. Oh, and actually, this times together and this times together are one apart from each other. So that's -9, that's -8, that's -16, that's -15. And so that's just kind of one thing that I noticed already. But there you go. There's some examples that you can use on yours.